There are music stars, there are superstars, and then there's Roki Vulović. A modest Serbian school teacher with his 90s patriotic songs and VHS camcorder video clips, he's become one of the internet's most beloved singers. He has millions of fans all over the world, and the comments that people leave on his videos can move anyone. I'm one of these people. I managed to get through a lot while listening to his songs. At one point of my life, I got so curious about all this Balkan Wars lore that I made a trip to Serbia, and the following year to Bosnia. Among other things, I visited some of the places that appear in his clips. This video was originally just a practice for me, an exercise of just sitting and talking to the camera without any prepared script and narrating a small slideshow of the photos I took. But when I started investigating one of these places, just to add a couple small details, it turned out to be so fascinating, so complex, so interconnected. I fell down a rabbit hole and eventually, as usual, ended up writing a 5-page document that completely blew my mind and opened my eyes to so many things. Hope you'll enjoy it too. So, Roki's first album came out in 1992. It's titled Semberski Junaci, or Heroes of Semberija, a region in northeastern Bosnia. The songs are dedicated to renowned officers such as Major Kikor, or Captain Ljubo Mauser, as well as entire military units such as 1st Semberija Light Infantry Brigade and 2nd Semberija Light Infantry Brigade. But the most curious song is the last one, titled Pavlovića Ćuprija, or Pavlović's Bridge. When I first saw the video clip, it struck me as odd. The rest of the album is filled with military glory and grief for fallen heroes, yet here we see a kitschy opening ceremony for what seems like some random small bridge in the middle of nowhere. The music is also inappropriately upbeat, making the whole thing feel like a cheap fairground show, heavily contrasting to the otherwise solemn tone of the album. So, what's going on here? In 1990, as Yugoslavia was living out its final years, Slobodan Pavlović, a Chicago-based real estate multimillionaire of Serbian origin, decided to invest in his homeland by financing the construction of a bridge across the Drina River, which separated the republics of Bosnia and Serbia. He was born in the nearby village of Popovi, on the Bosnian side of the river, so the song's lyrics and video suggest the bridge was truly his childhood dream. So you might think, hey, is this song just a commission from an eccentric billionaire to glorify his investment? That could be the case, but the story doesn't end there. In fact, this bridge may have held a very personal meaning for Roki Vulović himself. In 1991, Yugoslavia began to fall apart. Slovenia and Croatia left first, and Bosnia declared independence in March of 1992. War was inevitable. You see, Bosnia was a particularly complex republic. It was home to two unequal ethnic groups: Muslim Bosniaks who lived in the districts shown in green on the map, and Orthodox Serbs who lived in the districts shown in red. The Bosniaks were the majority and held full control in the newly formed parliament. The Serbian population of Bosnia was dissatisfied with this. Tensions quickly escalated. On the night of April 1st, a Serbia-based paramilitary group led by Željko Ražnatović, also known as Arkan, crossed the Drina River via the unguarded construction site of the still unfinished Pavlović's Bridge and entered Bosnian territory. They attacked and seized control of the city of Bijeljina, bombarding it with artillery and massacring the Muslim civilian population in the streets.
The Muslim party, have well prepared the Muslim population for this war, and every Muslim house, have a machine gun or automatic weapon.
Roki Vulović witnessed these horrific events personally. Bijeljina was his hometown, and at the time he was working there as a school teacher. He soon joined the 1st Semberija Light Infantry Brigade, which had been formed to defend the territories now under Serbian control from the Bosnian army's attempts to regain them. It was there that he conceived the idea of using his musical talents to write patriotic songs, produce music videos, and sell tapes to raise funds for wounded soldiers. The rest is what you've seen on YouTube, a remarkable music career and a brutal war that dragged on for 3 more years. According to Roki, Pavlovic's bridge is a full-fledged hero of Semberija. In a 2014 interview with the Russian newspaper Zavtra, he described Bijeljina as the first city in Bosnia to be liberated from, quote, Alija Izetbegović's gang. Pavlovic's bridge was playing a crucial role in that operation. Roki Vulović's clip is actually a valuable historic document. The timestamp on the screen indicates that the bridge's opening ceremony took place on August 29, 1992. You can see the Orthodox priests sprinkling holy water on the bridge. Serbian and American flags are displayed. After all, Slobodan Pavlović was an American businessman. And there he is, together with his wife, riding on a horse-drawn cart. Pavlović was a highly eccentric figure. After the war, he founded a new town nearby, which he named Slobomir, after himself and his wife, Mira. Today, the town consists of a gas station, and the campus is a private Slobomir University. Pavlović Tower, which was intended to become the tallest building in the Balkans, with 37 floors, has unfortunately never been built. Yeah, imagine being born in this small Bosnian village in the middle of nowhere, then going to America, becoming a millionaire, then going back to a village and building the tallest fucking skyscraper in the whole Balkans. How cool it would be, right? The life of your dreams. Oh, it's fascinating how our mind works. In the city, the ground is asphalt, concrete. It's hard, it can sustain much weight, so you can build skyscrapers, these fantastic skyscrapers of 3, 4, 500 meters tall. But in the village, the ground is soil, it's soft. You can plant potatoes there, you can't build skyscrapers in the village. That's absurd. I came here in the summer of 2022, approaching from the Serbian side. 100,000 deaths haven't changed the border, not even a bit. It is still there, on the Drina River. There's no trace of the former tensions. No fence, no minefields, nothing. The riverbank has a kind of promenade, and even a beach club with a pool. On that hot summer day, it was full of children playing. Life here feels joyful and peaceful. May it stay this way forever. After the Dayton Agreement was signed in 1995 and the war ended, the bridge was turned into a border crossing, with Bosnian and Serbian checkpoints at their respective ends. These Balkan states are not part of the Schengen area yet, so there are passport controls on both sides. So, despite the peace, today you can't simply stroll across the bridge the way people did back in 1992. But meanwhile, the war continued. In 1994, Colonel Pero Čolić called Roki and asked him to write an album about the 5th Kozara Light Infantry Brigade, of which he was then the commander. Roki happily agreed. The opening song of the album begins with him singing near the monument to the revolution, a World War II memorial sculpture located on one of the peaks of Mount Kozara. I'm a big fan of Yugoslavia brutalist architecture, so I went to see the monument in the late fall of 2023. It was a very foggy day, and I drove my rental Skoda up the winding mountain roads in complete solitude. The place was incredibly beautiful in the mist, and very sad. The monument commemorates 10,000 Yugoslav partisans and civilians who fell while resisting the Nazi offense in the summer of 1942. The damp air, moss-covered concrete blocks, and withering autumn vegetation give this place a kind of unique, melancholic vibe. I spent a few hours there just wandering around and thinking about life and death. If you're planning a trip to the Balkans, I definitely recommend visiting this memorial. Roki also shot some helicopter footage at the monument. It appears in the video clip for the third song of the album, which compares Kozara to a grieving mother mourning her fallen sons, lamenting that history repeats itself. Indeed, the region lived in peace for only 50 years, just as Roki sings in the album's opening song. The helicopter footage was also reused in the opening banger for the following album, the infamous Black Bomber. According to Roki, this flight was no easy task. The front line was close, and they could see enemy trenches directly from the helicopter.
Neću nikad zaboraviti jednog momka iz Niša koji je vozio jedan helikopter kao MiG-29. Dobro, ja sam po pitanju mašinac, znam šta je to, ali on je tako vozio taj helikopter. Ja sam vidio dole protivničke rovove i kažem njemu, kolega, jel vi znate da može ručna raketa da skine naš helikopter? Međutim, on je tako stravično vozio taj helikopter da mi je baš ostao u sjećanju.
So much risk for just a few seconds of shaky VHS quality video. Contrary to popular belief, the phrase is not about the Serbian army shooting down an American F-117 Nighthawk stealth attack aircraft. That song was released in 1995, while the incident occurred in 1999 during the NATO bombing of Belgrade amid the Kosovo War. It was a remarkable event, the first time a stealth aircraft had ever been shot down.
Well, I have a piece of that plane. It's a rubber, you know. I can show you. It's only rubber. That's a piece exactly from that plane. Well, now we shot this plane, and I will send a message to Bill Clinton. This is a message to Bill Clinton. Don't quarrel with Serbs, ever.
The pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Daryl Patrick Zelko, ejected successfully, hid in a drainage ditch, and was rescued the next morning. In 2011, he met Colonel Zoltan Dani, the commander of the air defense battalion that had shot him down. By then, Dani was retired and running a bakery. The two became friends. The road to my next destination crossed the main town of the region, named Kozarac. There I came across a curious open-air international exhibition of firefighting vehicles, a German truck and a Soviet ATV. Then I drove on to the next village. Pa-pa-pa-ra-pa-pa-pa-ra-pam. Pa-pa-pa-ra-pa-pa-pa-ra-pam. In order to find these beautiful river rapids, I had to scroll through the satellite view of all of Bosnia's major rivers. I eventually found the spot I was looking for on the Vrbas River, in one of the suburbs of Banja Luka, the capital city of the Serbian part of Bosnia. The place has outstanding natural beauty, especially on a nice summer day when the sunlight gives the water a gorgeous turquoise color. Unfortunately, my trip fell on an overcast autumn day, which, by the way, matched exactly the weather on the day the original clip was shot. On the riverbank, there was a large restaurant featuring a collection of retro cars and other oddities. The restaurant looked very appealing, had good reviews, and it was indeed lunchtime. But unfortunately, while trying to get a nicer shot of the rapids, I slipped on the wet concrete embankment, fell into the river, and stained my only pair of pants with green mud. I couldn't go to the restaurant looking like that. Fortunately, my next plan for the day was a 3-hour drive to Tuzla, which I did in my underwear, drying the pants using my car's heater. After visiting all the fantastic attractions in Tuzla, I drove back to Banja Luka the same day, and the next morning I set out for the highest point of my trip. This place was not easy to find either. As people explained to me in the comments, the view was of the same city, Banja Luka. It was likely taken from these hills south of the city. I drove to the entrance of the park and then continued on foot for about an hour. A socialist relay-style World War II memorial stood on one of the hills, so I assumed that in order to shoot a patriotic music video, Roki would have come here. It was difficult to pinpoint the exact view on Roki's videos. Almost 30 years have passed, and the vegetation had changed significantly. The view from around the memorial was somewhat similar, but only somewhat. I also tried some of the side trails I encountered on my way down, but they were all overgrown. In 2024, a year after my visit, a beautiful balcony was built there, completely transforming the place. Now it's open for everyone to enjoy, offering a wonderful view of the city and its winding river. No wonder Crni Bombarderi from the eponymous third album was also shot on this hill, beautifully foreshadowing what would happen to anyone who was spiteful towards Serbs.
To što misliš drugome, poželi i sebi.